Nontendo podcast, everybody. It's so nice to have you all here. My name is Wood. Over there is Bingle, and if I yell loud enough, we can
just switches to me.
And we also have joining us today, Logan Plant from IGN.
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
So happy to have you. Hate to take the moment away from you immediately, but I need to let people know what's happening because it's going to bother me to no end. One, chat, I need you to let me know if you hear me. Two, Bingle's trying to cover his microphone. we have a live switcher. I bought this new upgrade. Thank you, Patreons. I bought this new upgrade for the show. It was very expensive and it automatically switches cameras. And I gotta tell you, it was the biggest pain in the neck to set up, and it's essentially working. I mean, it's throwing to Bingle every now and then because it hears me. Like if I talk really loud,
it's on me. Let's go.
But it's also cool because even with Logan coming in through Discord here, it knows to cut to him when he talks. So give that a shot.
Yeah, it cuts right to me, and then it likes to hang on me when I'm done for a couple seconds.
Well, that's good because I want to... Nope. Wait, talk again.
Oh, yep. Okay, come back to me. Yep, okay. This thing's cool. I think it's cool. We're working it out, but I like it.
Yeah, it's also cool because it's feeding back through to you, so you can see all the cuts as well. It's really good, and everyone in chat says it sounds good, so other than one person that said no sound just to annoy me. But yeah, no, it seems like it's all working, so I'm going to try my best to let my head not think about the fact that something is auto-cutting through the episode. I can actually pretty much relax.
Yeah, that's the whole point, King.
Although it removed all capability from me in the way of actually controlling audio, so if there is any audio issues, we're screwed for the day. Logan, I'm going to shut up about that. I'm actually going to do one thing before I talk to you, and that's this. Logan, how are you feeling today?
Good. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to finally be on. We bonded over my Mario and Luigi Brothership review like 8 months ago, and yeah, it's been a long time coming.
I know, we've been talking about this for a while. So for those that don't remember or didn't see it, Logan over here, who is just on the camera because my switcher is... I told you, it's going to bother me. Which is fine.
Just let it go. Let it go.
You're beautiful. I'd love to see you when I'm talking to you, to be honest. Yeah, Logan gave Mario Brothership a 5 out of 10 in his IGN review. And then I was playing Mario and Luigi, and I was like, this game is a 5 out of 10, but everyone was so mad at you for your 5 out of 10 because
it was mid as hell.
Well, it was mid. We felt that it was mid. And that is a 5 out of 10 for IGN, isn't it? It's mediocre is the
mediocre. Yeah, which pretty much means mid, right? It's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And so in my review, when I started to realize I really resonated and agreed with your review, I was like, wouldn't it be a trip if I got the guy from IGN to join my video, to join forces, and we double down on the 5 out of 10, and you were more than happy to do it, and it was one of the more interesting and unique reviews I think I've done because of that.
Yeah, and we formed our own brothership because of that video.
That's so true. Yeah, we really got along like a house on fire. I mean, I cut a lot out of the video, but I was staring at your background wall there when we were making the video and just looking at all the stuff you've got, and it resonated. I would cut to it and show it, but I can't.
I can cut to it. I can cut to it myself for you. Yeah, there it is. Amiibo, CRT, Majora's Mask.
Breath of the Wild.
Lots of Zelda stuff.
Lots of really cool Zelda stuff. And then, of course, over your left-hand shoulder there too, or at least our left hand from where we're looking, is NVC, which is Nintendo Voice Chat, which is your podcast now that you're now the lead anchor of.
Yes, yeah, I am. Last time we talked, I wasn't. I was a panelist, but then I took over full-time in February of this year, and it's been so much fun. Like, we went to New York to cover the Nintendo Switch 2 preview event, and that was really fun going hands-on with Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I went to San Francisco to talk to Doug Bowser for the opening of the Nintendo San Francisco store, which is really cool. So it's been a crazy year. Like, in the 8 months since we've talked, like, it's just been a whirlwind. So yeah, happy that I can come on and talk about Switch 2 with you now.
Yeah, it all exploded really quickly for you, which is so cool. And I love seeing it. I love it because it was like seeing my boy from IGN at that point, you know, blowing up within the IGN ecosystem. And The other thing is that's cool is that this podcast is our little podcast here, it's a little independent podcast, and in the charts on the Apple charts, we always ride like top 15, top 10, somewhere around there, which is really awesome. But we're always knocked out by the big podcasts, your IGN, your Giant Bombs, your Kind of Funny, stuff like that. And the only other Nintendo podcast that was above this one in the rankings was Nintendo Voice Chat from IGN. So now that you're the lead of it, it feels not only more like an actual healthy rivalry that like it's like a brothership rivalry, but I feel like my boy is the one that's above me, which makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome seeing all the Nintendo podcasts, yours included, especially with like that Switch 2 bump. Like I've seen you and us and Kit and Krista, like they've been rising in the charts because of everything this year, which is really cool.
Kit and Krista are friends of the show. I don't know if you know. They've been on the podcast a couple of times. We did in-person episodes too, and love them so much. They keep blowing up because everything they say on their podcast is getting clipped online, and they're always referred to as like ex-Nintendo management or ex-Nintendo execs or like some. And every time Kit gets on social medias with a post and he's like, okay, so we weren't execs, we were in public relations, but yes, we did say that.
Yeah, people love running with those headlines. They love it. And every time I see one, I'm like, I know this is going to be an excerpt from the Kid and Krista podcast because they're like the only ones that had that inside knowledge that are talking about it. And they have really good stuff. Like around the Switch 2 launch, they had an episode that was like the 5 biggest blunders or something and what happened internally. Like that episode was really great too. Not just pump up their show. We're here to pump up our shows, but that was really good. Too.
I mean, to say to their credit, because I love them so much. I mean, they were in public relations. They were in like marketing. So they really know how to push and promote things, right? So they're so good at pushing and promoting their own work and their own podcast and getting their clips out there. I'm so envious of it. Hire them.
Exactly.
All right. Well, good to have you. And also, Bingo, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
How was the ride in? Hot?
Yeah, it's very hot.
It's been hot lately.
It's insane outside.
Okay, so there's a lot of things. So I want to essentially do the show as normal with you, Logan, and just go through our normal doc. And I want to get your input on everything that we would be talking about normally. And the headline is the two headlines are Nintendo's raising the price on the Switch and Nintendo is getting sued by Brazil. But before we talk about all of that, another reason why we jumped on getting you back on the show was because a couple of weeks ago, IGN once again got into a little bit of hot water with audiences online for their review of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I'm going to preface this for you a little bit because it wasn't your review. It was for one. And I'm sure there's only so much you can actually say about it and the 7 out of 10 that IGN gave it since it wasn't your review, and I'm not looking to get you fired. But I do want your thoughts. I do want your thoughts on that 7 out of 10. And then ultimately, I would love to know what you actually rate the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, no, I think that, so Tom Marks reviewed it. He's our executive reviews editor over at IGN. He edits all of my reviews that I write. And yeah, just like for a little peek behind the curtain, as much as I can say, like, I think what people don't get is like when one person writes a review, like we're all talking about it. We're all like reading it, editing it, giving opinions, talking about things. Like there's a ton of thought that goes into the number that people just see on social media. And that's why I like that you invite me on here to talk about it, Wood, because a lot of people don't actually read the review. They just see the score and say, oh, classic IGN. It's a 7 out of 10. It was like, no, hours and hours and hours of thought and nuance went into that article and even that number. And so, yeah, Tom gave it a 7 out of 10. And I think really just kind of the core conceit of the review is that we're kind of in an era where console upgrades are starting to feel like phone upgrades. Like this is a Switch. It's a better Nintendo Switch, and that's still a very good thing, and 7 out of 10 means good, but it just doesn't have some of those bells and whistles that we're typically used to getting from a brand new Nintendo console. I see that argument, and I completely agree with it to like a large extent, that the Switch 2 is just a better Switch. It has some downfalls. The battery life is really, really rough. The mouse controls are cool, but not the most comfortable for extended periods of time. So right now, I think that's a fair score, and I'm not too far off from that personally either.
Wow. I love that.
Wow.
You so I gotta say, when we filmed the Mario and Luigi brothership thing, you did the same thing when I asked you a question. You would beast mode through a reply, and it's like a well-edited review on the fly with no like vocal mistakes. I don't know how you do that. It was actually kind of challenging to edit around it because you would talk for so long and all of it was so good. I gotta give you props on
that's
that.
good. I think that's a good piece of criticism. That's good
Is
to
that
hear.
media training, or are you just like really good at talking? You have the gift of the gab.
I did go to school for journalism and did
Did
a
you
bunch of
really?
like radio classes. Yeah, I did.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, where
Do
at?
this to do what I'm doing now. Washington State University, the Edward R. Murrow School of Communication, which is
When
a
did
good
you
school.
graduate?
2020 in the pandemic.
How old are you?
27.
Wow, you're good. You're good. I like you're good. You're
Damn good.
You want like
okay.
all my life facts right now? Is this like my resume?
No,
that I'm building up right
I
now?
find it really interesting. I mean, I actually think it's good to learn about the people that actually work at IGN and put face to the name, which is another reason why I did it in the Mario and Luigi video, or at least why I liked doing it, because people don't really realize or think about, and we've talked about this before. I'm going to get back to what you said about the Switch 2 score. Think about the fact that when you get all these IGN reviews, you get like a 3 out of 10 here, a 7 out of 10 there, and it doesn't really seem to sync up. It's like, oh, but you gave this to this and this to that, IGN. It's the individual people working there reviewing it. That's the name of the game when it comes to big publications like that, is there's multiple people there. They take different reviews, they do different things. And if you really want to learn about a specific score that a person working there is giving, just like yourself, you can actually click on your name on like IGN and you can see all the other reviews that you've given things, which is what I did when you gave Mario Brothership a 5 out of 10. I went through and looked at all your other Nintendo Switch game reviews, and I agreed with all of them. I can't remember them all offhand, but you said Jamboree was the best Mario Party, Endless Ocean sucked. Everything you said, I was like, yeah, this guy gets it.
I agree with that.
Endless Ocean did suck.
Yeah.
That game sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a 4 out of 10 for you. What does a 4 mean at IGN?
Bad. It means bad.
Bad.
That's another thing, too, that you taught me is it's weird how IGN does it a little bit, in my opinion. I'm not speaking for you. You do a number rating, which most people in their head, they have like a idea of what a number means to them, right? And 7 is borderlining, in my mind, borderlines on like average to mediocre. But to IGN, a 7 is good, right? It's like that's the actual word used that's tied to 7 is good.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, it's like there's like review inflation, I think, because there's so many games that come out every single day. Like hundreds of games drop on Steam every day, and those games range anywhere from like 1 to 10. But most of like the high profile games that websites and YouTubers actually review are usually going to be in the upper end of that scale. And so people get this idea in their heads that 7 is on the lower end of the scale when it's not. It's 7. Like it's closer to 10 than it is 1 significantly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It is 7. And that's what we've got here. I probably should have shown this from Tom Marks. So the official tagline to the, I mean, you can read the whole review. The article or the review is quite lengthy here, but the tagline is good. The Nintendo Switch 2 is a vital upgrade over the original Switch. It's that the only way you've been able to play games for the last 8 years, but improvements that have mostly playing catch up and big price jump made this sequel system about as exciting as a long overdue phone upgrade in the larger scheme of things. And he said it was good. And I mean, he's not inherently wrong. And I feel like, I don't think he's wrong at all, actually. I don't know why I said it like that. I feel like if you're not like a giant Nintendo fan that was just so excited to lick Mario's boots one more time, you know what I mean? Like, it is kind of just good. It is kind of just like
exactly right.
It's also the hardware and the console he's reviewing. He's not reviewing like the experience of playing Mario Kart on it or like Cyberpunk on it. It's just the actual system in itself is good. And
exactly. And
I
it's like
agree.
reviewed against every handheld, everything. Like its place as a console in the marketplace, not in the Nintendo bubble, which a lot of Nintendo fans can be in sometimes, like you said. And like our review says, like if you just had a Switch, this is huge. But otherwise, like if you have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, it's just adding things that it's kind of playing catch up in that way. It has HDR now, it has 4K support, it has a 1080p screen. Like it's playing catch up in a lot of ways. So I think it's totally fair. Yeah, I think that 7 is fine. And yeah, I'm kind of right there with Tom.
Okay. No, I mean, I think it's a valid opinion. Like we actually were talking about it like last week or the week before. I can't remember. And then I was like, initially I was like 7, come on IGN. And then I was like, I would give it, well, hold on. And as soon as I started thinking about it, I was like, I'd probably give it an 8. Honestly, for me, I'd give it an 8 and how much I'm enjoying it. But I mean, 7, 8, they're right next to each other. Like, am I gonna like poo-poo on someone for liking it just a little bit less than me? And that's even if I'm thinking of as numbers. A lot of people do. Yeah, a lot of people do. And that's even if I'm thinking about it just as numbers, let alone what's an 8? What's the word for 8?
That's great. Great. 8 is great.
I would say great. I would say great, but I'm not gonna poo-poo someone's good.
The reviews are what? 5 is like mediocre. 6 is okay. 7 is good.
What is 6?
Okay, you got it.
7 is what is good. 8 is great. 9 is excellent, and
amazing.
10 is a masterpiece. Amazing.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
And 10 is what, masterpiece?
Yes.
Yeah.
So not perfect. A lot of people think 10 means perfect. It doesn't mean that either.
So what would a Switch 2 have to be for you to give it masterpiece?
Damn.
I don't know. I've never reviewed a console. I've never assigned a number to a console in a formal review like that.
I thought it was weird that you didn't do the review for that one because you're the Nintendo guy there, right?
Not necessarily. Like, we didn't necessarily have those like defined roles. Anyone can like review a Nintendo game. I host the Nintendo podcast. I review a lot of the major Nintendo games, but it's not like my defined job to review everything Nintendo. But I did do Mario Kart World at the same time. So Tom was working on the console review while I reviewed Mario Kart World.
What did you give Mario Kart World?
8. Great.
Okay. I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. Yeah, you're so smart and wise and beautiful.
Oh, thanks, SUED. Yeah, this is a great platform for getting the good IGN review scale word out to the public. I love this.
I mean, when I create content and when I approach conversations online, even like controversial ones, I always feel like I try and be really unbiased and I try and actually like break things down and maybe make people realize where they're kind of falling for a lot of the online hysteria that gets, spun up into knots. And yeah, so I'm trying to cut through it. And I think here where it got spun out was there was people, you compare it to other things. And I think where it got spun out is that IGN also gave the PlayStation Portal an 8. And that was a sticking point for a lot of people because that honestly doesn't make sense on paper to me. I even unbiasedly that the Switch 2 could be a 7 and the Portal could be an 8. I don't really get that, but that would be like if I was the one reviewing it, not so much because Tom Marks didn't do the Portal. I don't know who did the Portal review, but that was someone else.
No, it wasn't him though.
Yeah. So it's just different people and different opinions, which again, that's where I would break that down. I'd be like, well, whoever did the Portal review must have obviously really liked it and thought it was great. What would you give the Portal?
I've never used it. Couldn't tell you.
That's a safe answer.
Yeah, I don't have one.
If you had to guess.
I'm not going to do that.
Nothing official on the record.
No.
Yeah,
I've never used it. I have no idea.
No, that's fine. I know. I'm playing with you. No, I think a lot of people just took that weirdly because the Portal just doesn't really work that well for a lot of people. It doesn't work. In general, it's really sketchy.
You need a really good internet.
It's a streaming device. It's something that like, you have on one hand, IGN in this review is like, it's a long overdue phone upgrade. You're kind of like almost belittling it in a way. Not really, because they're right, but you know what I mean? Whereas with the Portal, which is literally just something you need a PlayStation 5 to work with, they're like, this is great, it's an 8. And I think right,
it's an accessory. The Portal is like an accessory to something else, and the Switch is a dedicated console. There's different expectations for both things, in my opinion.
That's true. Yeah. No, and that's true. And I'm just explaining where I think the sticking point on people getting upset with the 7 out of 10 came from. Just the optics of that. But I do agree with you. I agree with you. We're best friends. It's a brothership.
We are. Yeah, it is.
I'm not trying to get
and you're Luigi just following right behind us in the charts. I'm Mario leading the way.
I love that I'm Luigi. He's my favorite.
Yeah, Luigi's great.
You do feel like a Mario.
I play as Mario because I'm basic and boring. So,
well, how tall
like Mario Kart World, Mario's my main.
How tall are you?
I'm too tall. I'm 6'2", so I can't really be Mario.
Oh, that sucks. You're so tall.
Yeah.
What the hell? You don't look that
Nobody
tall.
knows. That's what I always get in
That's
person.
Crazy.
Is like, How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
He's taller than you?
Yeah, you're taller than me. That's why I'm like,
No.
you kind of have to be Luigi now.
Okay, yeah, but I think he's more than. I think that's closer to like Waluigi height.
How
How tall do you think Waluigi is?
I don't know. I never
Probably
thought
six
about
seven,
it.
6'8".
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely taller
Taller.
than everybody else. How high can you jump?
Not that high. Not that
See,
high.
I can jump
Not as high
pretty.
as Mario.
I can jump pretty high. Well, Luigi can jump high. Are you
You
scared?
don't?
Are you scared of ghosts?
No, but if I had a vacuum, I'm sure I could suck a bunch of them
That's
up.
where I was going
Oh,
with that.
hell yeah.
Did you ask me if I could dunk?
I did ask you if you could dunk. Yeah.
Well, what's the relevance of that other than the basketball Mario game?
You said you could jump high, so I'm wondering if you can dunk.
True.
That was it. I wasn't
if the-
setting anything up. I just
if
want to know.
No, I can't. If the hoop's low enough, if I have an apple box to jump off of. All right, I'll be Luigi. I like Luigi. Do you want to, Logan?
Yeah, I feel like I got to say before we move on,
Please
Wood,
do.
you should go watch. You go watch the IGN review because I'm not Tom Marks. I didn't score it. He has way more thoughts on this, and we also started doing this new thing at the end of our IGN reviews where we do kind of one-on-one interviews like this with the person that reviewed the thing, so you can put a face to the name like in our reviews because that's like we introduced that I think earlier this year because everyone just kind of thought IGN was this disembodied voice like you're saying, and so I think that we learned. Like talking to you about my Brothership review, a lot of people in the comments were like, "Oh, this dude does like Nintendo. He's not a total hater." And so, like, we've kind of taken some of that idea and ran with it. It's been in the works for a long time to add these like post-review interviews in our video reviews on YouTube, so you can get to know the reviewer a little bit more afterwards too.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm definitely an advocate of that when it comes to any major article that has several different reviewers working for them, but specifically with IGN, and just because you're my boy now, and I don't want people to. I'm here to defend you.
Well, thank you, Wood. Appreciate it.
No, I don't know what I was saying. No, I agree, and definitely go and actually watch the review and listen to the review. And yeah, not every reviewer at IGN is a conglomeration of the same person. That's a word, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not all the same. There's all different individuals rating stuff.
I agree.
Is what they're trying to convey.
Logan, you're smart and wise. Should we talk about Nintendo getting sued or Nintendo raising the prices of the Switch? What do you want to talk about first?
Well, both sound a lot worse than I think they actually are. So why don't we start with the lawsuit?
Well, you got to make it all as clickbaity as possible, you know. Have you had a chance to talk about any of these on your podcast yet?
Not these two, no.
So here's Nintendo is getting a taste of their own medicine with a Switch 2 lawsuit, which is a very bitchy title, I guess, more than any. So I actually have my personal trainer is from Brazil, and he actually sent me this, and he was like, he sent it in Brazilian.
Wait, really?
If that's even the language.
Portugal.
Well, Portuguese. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brazilian
Portuguese?
Brazilian
it's
isn't
Brazilian.
that's a Brazilian wax, I think. No, I think it is Portuguese, actually. I think he did actually message me, and he was like, you'll have to translate this from Portuguese. Let me see, actually. Yeah, it's in Portuguese. But yeah, Brazil is suing Nintendo. Like, the country is suing Nintendo. And Bingo, you said it. I want to try and find the sweet spot in this article, but you were saying it's because of
them basically Nintendo being able to lock you out of its online services. Someone in, I guess, Portugal said that it goes against consumer rights, and they're fighting against that. I can get you the name of it.
So it says here Procon SP. I don't know who that is. We skipped it.
It's Procon SP.
What is that?
I don't know.
Believes that Nintendo is violating consumer protection rules by canceling subscriptions and denying access to online services, including the eShop. While Nintendo has stated that the bricking of a console is only done if someone uses pirated software, the ability to do this to customers who already paid for the Switch 2 and its services is not sitting right with representatives in Brazil. Nintendo has no legal presence in Brazil, so Procon SP had to contact the company's US headquarters to discuss the matter. In response, Nintendo appointed a law firm to deal with the case, which includes a change in Nintendo's bricking policies and even appointing a representative in Brazil. Nintendo now has 20 days to respond to Procon SP's request. Let me quickly look up.
They are Consumer Protection Foundation
Oh.
of Sao Paulo. I'm probably butchering that name. Basically, they enforce consumer a federal law that guarantees strong consumer rights for Brazilians.
Logan, what is your take on all of that? I want to know.
My take's honestly kind of boring. I feel like, I don't know, people are freaking out so much about this whole Switch getting bricked thing if you break the license agreement, and it's so in line with just what Nintendo does. They want you to experience their products and their games exactly how they want. So what? This is like if you hack your Switch, they're gonna brick it. So I guess just don't hack the Switch. I've never done it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the right person to ask about this because this doesn't bother me at all. I'm not sure if there's a case here. I don't know enough about it to know if this is going to lead to Nintendo changing anything. But I think people have really made a mountain out of a molehill with the whole Switch bricking thing. I was at Best Buy the other day and playing the Donkey Kong Bonanza demo on the Switch 2 demo kiosk that they have there. And I talked to the checkout person and he's like, "Did you get a Switch 2?" And I said, "Yeah, did you?" And he said, "No, I just can't get past the idea that I don't actually own my Switch 2 and Nintendo's leasing it to me." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're going to miss out on some amazing Nintendo games over the next 8 years." So I don't know. This stuff doesn't bug me at all, but I've never been one to tinker and break and brick and hack Nintendo consoles.
And also, Nintendo's not the only one who does this. Like Sony and Microsoft have the ability to brick consoles. They've done it in the past, but and it's not really technically a brick. It's an online, like they just deny you access to online from that particular console.
Yeah.
The not owning the console thing is bizarre to me, but I know it's not exclusive to Nintendo. But it's to the person who you met, who said they weren't going to buy it for that reason. I don't know if they're aware, but literally every video game they buy is the same. Like every video game comes with a EULA or whatever that you're essentially waiving off your rights to actually owning the game. Like you don't own anything. You're licensing to play it, because if you owned it, then you could do whatever you wanted to it. You could sell it. You could mass produce it. You know what I mean? You could like change it. You can't do that because it's not yours. That's why when you buy a game, you're buying a license to the game. You're not buying like stocks in the game.
Also, the same thing happened with the Wii U when you hacked it, or the Switch 1. Like
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
so many
nothing
people.
new.
Yeah, this is nothing new.
I mean, it's a new concept to me.
Oh, I was going to say, I do think like the one issue that could come from this is if someone hacks their Switch, Nintendo bricks it, and then they like sell it used on eBay or something, and then somebody buys like a
That's
useless
happening.
Switch and
Have you seen
scams
that?
in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is an issue from this. I don't know what the workaround is there because that's not fair for that new user who essentially got scammed by somebody. So that seems like a fringe case, but it is happening, which totally sucks.
I feel like the Switch 2 needs to, on boot up, be like, this Switch 2 is bricked. Like it needs to say something on like startup, because that's what's tricking like Walmart is they turn it on and they like put a game in or whatever, or they mess around with it. Like, oh, it works. Because you kind of have to go to the eShop. You have to go online. But if something on boot up was like this, like an error code or something, like this can't go online, and then it boots up, that would help. Yeah, I was going to say, it is news to me that I don't own the console, that I'm licensing the console to. Like, apparently that isn't something that's new in general, but it's the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
I always thought, like, when it comes to hardware, you do kind of own it. But I guess if you owned it, it'd be the same thing. Then you would be allowed to mod it. You would be allowed to recreate it and resell it. So you are licensing a console. I mean, it's probably always been that way.
It's also like very similar with like that remember the John Deere lawsuit? I don't know if you ever heard of
Tractors?
it. The tractors, yeah.
No, tell me about it, boy.
Well, people weren't able to repair it. John Deere wouldn't allow people to repair it, stating that they didn't really own it. I think they might have lost that lawsuit. I'm not sure, but there was a whole big thing around it.
Do they have to like send it back in or something? Or
yeah, you have to give it back to John Deere. Well, I don't know about that now, but before.
That's interesting. What about other tractors? Was it only John Deere? So if
it was John Deere.
What happens when you buy a car? You're not licensing a car. You own the car, right?
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, you own the car. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to the car.
That's interesting, because the car is like...
For now, I don't know. Eventually, when cars get so electric, and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, you went over the speed limit. We're gonna turn this off."
Or they try
Well,
a
is it like a
subscription
Tesla?
for
You own a Tesla when you buy a Tesla? I guess so. because that's like 50 grand. And then Nintendo were like, this $500 console,
Well,
you don't own this.
Tell me any dealer or mechanic that'll touch a Tesla to repair it. I have not met one.
You have to be licensed.
You have to be licensed.
But I guess the issue is, I'm thinking out loud, Logan. I guess the issue is with a console, you then turn around, you buy software. So if you mod, you could then get all the software free. You buy a car, it's not like it's not like Honda is selling you anything
mod
else.
gas into the
Well,
car.
with an electric car,
Yeah.
possibly. I mean, I don't know. Does Tesla have like locked features behind certain things?
I mean, maybe like it would be illegal to like, I don't know. I don't know.
Is there like
There's games on a Tesla, but I don't see a way of you getting.
can I change my horn and download different horns from their shop? I don't know.
But they're not selling horns. They're not selling extra games. So I don't think I think it's different. I don't care. This is a weird thought experiment. I don't know what we're talking about.
I personally like I think like when it comes to hardware, I think if you buy the hardware, you should be able to, you own it, whatever it is. But if you're breaking like the piece of hardware, like to get into the hardware and just basically circumvent all of the stuff that they have, like all the protections or whatever, just so that you can upload, like, I think they deserve or reserve that right to, pull access. Because in a way, they're not really bricking it. They're just getting rid of your online.
I guess I'll say for Logan, because I know my thoughts are pretty clear on the podcast, but I probably should say it to you so that you know. I agree with what you said earlier. The only reason to hack this thing or to mod this thing is to get games for free, for piracy. So, of course, it's in Nintendo's best interests to lock all of that down. And sometimes when I say that, people are like, oh, you're defending the $1 million company. It's any company. It's just anyone ever. Any individual person would want to do the same thing, right? Like if they're trying to sell you something, they don't want you to get that something for free. It's really just how it is.
Yeah. Nintendo exists in this walled garden, and that comes with pros and cons. And the pros are that they make great games, like specifically for their hardware. But then the cons are you're going to play it the way they want it to, kind of like the Mario Kart update. I think we're going to talk about it in a little bit. Like that's always how it goes with them.
I mean, we may as well ducktail into that. I think we exhausted that. We could probably finish it by just saying, I agree with you. I'm not sure where that goes. I mean, different countries' laws are different, but I can't imagine that really going anywhere here in America with someone suing for that. So I can't imagine Brazil's any different unless they have any like pre-existing cases or anything they can pull from in the past that has happened in the country in this way. But I can't imagine that there is. So, sometimes
I'm going
when
to guess
there's
Nintendo will not lose this too.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that too. But sometimes when there's a similar case that has set a precedent, if they can use that in the case, it gives you a leg up where otherwise you wouldn't normally have. But I can't imagine what a similar case would be in this case. All right, we're going to ducktail into what Logan mentioned here. Mario Kart World Mario Kart World's hated change shows Nintendo still doesn't get online games. This is from Polygon. I agree with that title 100%. I've been thinking about making a video about Nintendo's online infrastructure in their video games and just how much it sucks. Like every single online game that they have, they mess it up in some way, usually a major way where you just essentially just can't play games online with your friends. Seems to be the reoccurring issue. And they just did a really weird update to Mario Kart World that if you're not playing it or you don't understand it, it does take a little bit of explaining. I was watching my friend Bob's podcast last night and he didn't quite get it. And I had to call him after the podcast and it took 10 minutes to break down what actually had happened. Logan, do you mind if I explain it here real quick and just rant for like 2 minutes?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So, and correct me if I'm wrong here being on any of this, but essentially with Mario Kart World, right, up until this recent update, there was really two modes that people were playing online. Because we're not going to count the battle mode because no one really did that.
It was knockout and
knockout and well, it's not even Grand Prix.
Just versus.
Because already off the rip, Nintendo didn't give you Grand Prix online for who knows what reason. You couldn't go
They never have. Well, they never have. That's not new. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and 8 Deluxe, you just pick 4 courses.
That's so silly.
And then you get a score at the end of it.
So silly. Well, yeah, so you had knockout.
I mean, privately, though.
You had knockout to it, and then you had the versus mode. So Knockout Tour. Let me explain Knockout Tour because I think it's important here for reference. Knockout Tour has you racing to 5 or 6 different courses in one shot, trying not to get knocked out along the way. When you get to the course, you race the course, right? Or do you kind of just go through?
End,
yeah.
At the very end of Knockout
Only
Tour?
the last lap. Yeah,
Okay.
the final section of Knockout. Yeah.
So you do a final one at the end. One lap of the last one. Then versus mode, up until now, it was you would go to start a new map. It would give you a selection of 3 maps. If you picked one of those 3, you would race to it, and then you would do 1 lap on it. Right?
Yeah.
Which is essentially just a mini knockout mode at that point, and you're not really getting the 3 laps. So what people would do as a workaround once they realized they weren't getting full 3 laps online, which is the Mario Kart experience, really. I mean, you want the 3 laps. You want to hit that final lap. You want to get faster every lap. You want the strategy of like laps, right? What they would do as a workaround is they would hit the random button, because the random button would pick a random map in the world, and because it's not close enough to race to, you would just teleport there and do 3 laps. So it was the workaround.
Yeah.
So up until a few days ago, if you were to play online, everybody was doing random.
Yeah.
Because everyone wanted 3 laps.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo, for whatever reason, said, oh, you found a workaround? Okay, so now this random button is just going to select from the 3 close by that you have to choose from anyway. Right?
Yeah, it only randomized those 3 maps.
It only randomized those 3 maps. Essentially, removing the ability of doing 3 lap races online and just giving you the mini knockout mode and just minimizing the options you have to play games online in Mario Kart.
Yep.
Is that right, Logan? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I still think that there are those random still has 3 laps in there, but it's just much lower odds now because they've thrown in all the intermissions. So like if you take all the intermissions that exist in Mario Kart World, it's like over 100, but then there's only 30 tracks that are traditional 3 laps. So if you're hitting random, the odds of getting just a traditional course are significantly lower.
Have you tried playing online after this new update? Has it affected your experience?
Yeah, it sucks. I hate this update.
Yeah,
I'm right there with everybody
it's
that
terrible.
dislikes
Yeah, it
this.
sucks. I hate it too. Because it's the same. It's more of the same, and it's less option.
Well, that and like you're not getting ranked anymore, and mostly I'm not playing ranked World Versus and getting the points up. I'm just playing with like my friends list now, or on a stream. And I'll play
when you play with a friends list, you can force a 3 lap, right?
Yes.
You can go for whatever you want.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It already sucked that the workaround to even hitting a 3 lap was hitting a random button. That was already dumb. That was already something worth complaining about. What do you think the mentality is on Nintendo's side to patch that out? Like, I guess they just really love the racing to the course thing. They want people to experience pretty much that.
Mm-hmm.
The mentality is we spent 8 years turning Mario Kart into an open world, and after less than a month, people are already sick of that and just want to do the 3 lap courses. And we say, I don't think so, buddy. Like, no, we're turning that off. Like, that's basically what this is.
It's not sick of it, though. It's the variety of you have that in Knockout. Like, when we want to race through the world, we do Knockout. And when we want to do a 3 lap race, which is Mario Kart and what we grew up with, if we don't want to do it offline, we want to do it with our friends. And that was the option. It wasn't really even an option. Like I said, it was a workaround.
I also feel like I can't get enough practice or like even experience the course right. Like if I don't get my 3 laps in.
It's over so quickly when you get to the course.
It's like that.
You actually aren't doing the courses online. You're mostly racing the highway. And doing one little lap of it, especially like when you race to I don't know what the new Baby Park one is. It's like the really short beach one that you can like.
Peach Beach? Is it Beach?
Whatever. What was it, Logan?
Yeah, it's Koopa Troopa Beach, the one
Koopa
on the very
Troopa
south
Beach.
of the map.
So when you do that one, by the time you actually get to the course, you then just and it's over.
10 seconds.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. No, I think that's something that would fix it for a lot of people is if we could just get there and then do 3 laps. But then maybe Nintendo thinks that's too long for an online race and you want to get more people in the lobby faster over to have quicker turnover time. But no, this decision stinks. And hopefully they're going to patch in like a classic mode or something at some point where you can do the intermission mode like they have it right now in versus race, or you can do classic versus race in public lobbies where you just do 3 laps. But I don't see them doing that. The online just feels really bare bones in general in Mario Kart World.
It
It's
does.
really disappointing. Like, you guys know that like in Knockout Tour in public lobbies, if you can't join off your friend and join a public Knockout Tour.
Oh, I meant to
yeah.
talk about that.
That's how we have to play sometimes. I gotta like try to join in on you. It's annoying.
And I don't know if you know this, Bingle, but you can't do it with Knockout Tour.
Why?
I know. So Kim and I discovered this. So my wife Kim has been obsessed with Mario Kart. She loves it. And we got to the point where she's like getting better now and she wanted to race people online. And the only way to actually get online with your friend and race other people was that I would join a versus lobby, and then once I was in, Kim could join on me, which, to be fair to Nintendo, at least that's a way, because in other games, I can't think of any offhand, but you can't even, like, in a Nintendo Switch Sports, if you want to bowl online with your friend, you literally can't buddy up with a friend and go play other bowlers online.
No,
you have to do
play
NPCs.
Yeah.
So at least this is a workaround where one of you can search, get into a game, the other person can join. Well, Kim was like, well, can we do Knockout Tour now? And every single time I joined a Knockout Tour lobby, she couldn't join on me. And then I was like, what's going on? So then she tried it and I couldn't join on her. And I was like, what is this weird glitch we're having? We were resetting our switches. We were doing everything. And then
this doesn't work.
And then I Googled it and there was a whole Reddit thread from launch. You just can't do it. It just doesn't work. It just locks you out for some reason.
That sucks, man.
Which is weird because like you can do it locally with 2 people. Like you have 2 people on the same Switch too. You can pick online play 2 players and then you can do a knockout tour together. And I've been doing that with my fiance a lot, and we've been doing that like every night since Mario Kart World came out. It's super fun, but I can't do it with my friend across the country and join off of them. It just is not a choice.
I know.
The only way to do it online, like with a friend too, would just be create a room. That's it.
Yeah, but then it would be NPCs that would fill the rest of
NPCs.
the slots. Yeah.
You would just or I have to hope
and this
a
is
streamer
literally
has it open or something.
this is the conversation we have at every Nintendo online game. It's you can do this or you can do that or you can do this or that, but none of them are going to give you exactly what you want, which is just playing online with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I think there's one big exception to that, and I think that exception is Splatoon 3, which finally got everything right for the first time in that series. Like that game lets you join a friend and then matchmake. It's the only Nintendo game that does that. Nothing else. It's always joining off with the weird menu. It's like, okay, can't they just take that lesson from Splatoon and glue it onto Mario Kart World? But no, apparently not.
Is that a different team that makes Splatoon or something?
It is.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, then, why can't they just take that model? And there's so many other things with Mario Kart World too. Like, Kim loves doing the open world, and she more than anything wants to do co-op open world with me. But as soon as you do that, it gets rid of all the P switches, which makes the world empty. Like,
which is arguably the best part.
It's the best part. Like, you can find the little like collectible coins and the patches or whatever, but you can't do the P switches together.
I think they did it because during intermission, during versus, right?
Yeah.
Versus intermissions, or I'm not sure about knockout intermissions, but online, like, what if you're in intermission doing a P switch and all of a sudden you get ripped out of it?
Yeah, but you should be able to just join an online world with someone and that's it. Like, you're not in some lobby.
That's what I was hoping for. Like, or even when you create your own room, who cares? It's your room. You dictate what happens.
Exactly. And Logan, I was talking about this before as well, but I had this vision before the game came out, once I learned like what the game was about, where like in the open world, you could have like all these different races and they were all online at the same time. And like, maybe you don't like join up on them, but they just kind of like enter your world, even if they were like ghost races or whatever. And you could see them like in your world and you're like doing your missions and your P switches. Maybe you can like partner up with one and like trigger a race and be like, oh, do you want to race me over to Peach Beach? And then like, you can like do like a waypoint marker and you could race over there, kind of like Forza Horizon in that way. I thought that would have been so sick, but nope, you can't even go online with your friends.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see like a window into how hard it was for me to review this game for IGN because I love the game so much. I think it controls so well and the tracks are so great and it looks amazing and there's so much that's great about it, but then there's like 15 little nitpicks that just really bring the whole thing down. Like, it's a weird one. It's like, I kind of thought that Mario Kart World was going to be this live servicey thing, and I use that term in a good way. Like I thought
Yeah, I
Nintendo was
know, I
going to
agree.
support this game. It was going to be really online focused in a really smart, fresh way. But no, instead it's like classically Nintendo, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And it goes even, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to look at this Switch pricing update. But it goes even more for me into the $80 of it all. Because it's like, where is that $80? And why are we paying $80 and then getting locked out of all these features? And you're removing things. You're literally, with this new update, taking things away from the game when you've charged us so much for it. We should have every option in the world. We shouldn't be limited at all, in my opinion. But
Yeah, and like a weird thing about that though is that everyone keeps calling it an $80 game, which it is. It retails for 80 separately. But did you see the stat that said that 80% of Switch 2 sold have been the bundle? So for
Yeah.
80% of Switch 2 owners, Mario Kart was $50. Like it's interesting that that's kind of how it's worked out.
Not me.
Yeah, not you, because you couldn't get a bundle.
I couldn't get a bundle.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
I agree with that sentiment 100%, and a lot of people do like to remind me when I bring it up. Actually, it's 50. Yeah, right now it is, but that bundle only lasts through fall. So at some point, that's not going to be an option. So in my mind, I review it like an $80 game, because end of the day, it's an $80 game. But you're right, that most people have only paid 50.
I'm monitoring the chat, and somebody just said 15 nitpicks is worth 2 IGN points. The curve is real. Not true. Reviews don't start at a 10. They don't. You don't start at a 10 and dock points. You don't start at a 0 and add points. Reviews aren't math. So sorry, just have to say that.
He came after you.
Hell yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Common misconception.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. It's a very good point. I agree with you 100%. You start at 1 and you work your way up.
No, you don't do that either. You don't do that either. You don't. You pick a number based on how you feel about the game.
You start at 5 and you start swinging in a direction. Am I right or am I right, Logan?
No. You're wrong. You're very wrong. That's all right.
Okay, let's take a look at this pricing thing. All right, so this is a very short article. Nintendo Switch pricing update. It just says Vancouver, BC. So this is in Canada, by the way. I probably should have said that way earlier to everybody freaking out. However, it's not a good sign in general.
You know you did it on purpose. Come on. You know.
So I did, in the title and the thumbnail, do it on purpose. I was going to make it clearer off the rip and not have people wait 48 minutes, but I forgot. And it's okay. Vancouver, BC, June 30th. June 30th. Wait. Oh, yeah. It's this. It's already been 3 days since this news? I thought it was yesterday.
Time's going by
quick.
quick.
What's the day today?
July 3rd.
It's the 3rd.
It is the 3rd? Oh, my God.
4th of July tomorrow.
I'm telling you guys, do but don't have a baby.
Okay.
Do you know I had
time stop?
Do you know I have a baby?
Yes. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
About it, but we haven't really talked since then.
Yeah,
How's it going?
I didn't know if you knew. It's going great, except time is an illusion at this point.
I bet.
Kim's birthday was the 1st, and I honestly feel like that was yesterday. I don't know what happened to yesterday. I don't know what we did yesterday. I don't know where life was yesterday. Let me read this. Pricing for the original Switch family of systems and products in Canada will change based on market conditions. These include Nintendo Switch OLED model, Nintendo Switch and Switch Lite. Oh, I should probably also have clarified this is for the and even more weird for the last generation of systems. So where you would think the price would come down on the last generation of Nintendo, they're actually going up. Although we're also guessing that. Let me get there. Other Nintendo products, including Amiibos and Switch Online memberships, will also experience price changes. Please note the price change does not apply to Switch 2 systems, accessories, or software. Pricing information specific to the Canadian market will be shared at nintendo.com/something on August 1st. So we actually don't know when the price change is going to happen, but logically and logistically, the fact that they're saying there's going to be a price change and not saying, oh, it's dropping, we'll let you know what the price is in August. It's obviously a price increase. I, for the life of me, can't figure out the reason. They do say market conditions, but it's in Canada, so I don't think we can apply the tariff situation here. And you would think that it's only getting cheaper to make original Switches. So, Logan, do you have any kind of insight here? IGN, any whispers in your ear you can tell us?
No, I unfortunately don't really have insight on this, other than this is just the pattern we've seen for the last 4 or so years now, just across the console market. PS5 has consistently gone up in other regions around the world. Xbox Series X has consistently gone up. We saw a price change there recently. It only makes sense Nintendo would follow closely behind. At least it's just impacting last gen for now, and this isn't a Switch 2 thing. But yeah, it is kind of a weird one.
It's true. It is impacting last gen, and you're right. It's worth mentioning that Xbox just raised the prices on the consoles that are out.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a while ago. They did that?
I
Right?
mean, it was a couple months, but yeah, a while. And
Yeah,
then
it was
PlayStation
this year,
5, PlayStation 5 jumped up end of last year or this year as well. I can't remember. Time is an
I
illusion.
can't remember exactly. I think it was
Didn't
last
PlayStation
year, but,
lower their prices again?
I doubt it.
I gotta-
Maybe you can look it up. The Xbox definitely went up, and then the Switch is going up. So it probably isn't without reason that the Switch 2 might get a price increase at some point. Right? Am I crazy for saying that?
Yeah.
Like, obviously maybe a couple years from now, but
It could be, who knows when it could be. Like, it could be whenever. Like, it sucks because the answer for consoles used to be wait for a price drop, but now it's get it before the price goes
Yeah.
up, and that like sucks for consumers. But
Yeah.
that's the reality we're in. But like when the Switch 2 pre-orders were delayed, and fortunately Nintendo came back with the same price for the console and just bumped up the accessories a little bit. But basically Bowser said at the time, "But hey, we're not making any promises. Like, this could change in the future." And yeah, it sucks that it's that uncertain. But yeah, this is really random to me that it's just Switch 1. I don't know, inflation something. Maybe they're just
That
trying to
is
keep
random.
Switch 2 prices down. Yeah,
I
couldn't
think
tell you.
I think that's definitely it. Like, if they have to increase their prices at least in Canada for right now. And by the way, this is just in Canada, but it is scheduled for August as far as telling us information. I mean, Canada could have just got to it first. You know,
Yeah.
it could be a price increase coming here in America. It could be coming throughout the world. But I don't want to make anyone panic and have anyone rush out to get a Switch 2, because I do think that they're going to keep that price at the price for as long as possible.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo wants to raise the price.
No,
on the
they
Switch
won't
2.
raise the price. Imagine they raise the price before like Christmas.
They don't
Like,
want to do that.
immediately people are going to be like, oh, I'll wait and see if this comes back down, and they're going to lose all the Christmas sales. So don't rush out and panic thinking the Switch 2 price is going to go up and try getting one now. But as Logan said, and as I agree, I do think at some point, I don't know if you said this, I'm going to speak for you. I do think at some point the Switch 2 might get a price increase. And at which point, yeah, it's definitely becoming more of a get it before it goes up rather than a get it before it goes before it goes on sale, which is kind of crazy. I mean, at least you have warning here, right? Like, hopefully they give us hopefully Canada gets warning. Like on August, they're like, hey, it's going to go up in a month. Get it now while you can.
I mean, I don't know. It's because it's also weird that it's the Switch 1.
It is weird. Well, I think if they had their perfect world, it would be everything. But I don't think they can raise the price on Switch 2 right now. So I think for now,
Yeah,
it's
I
Switch
agree.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they came back, like I actually think that the price increase stuff was almost the best case scenario. Something had to go up. Like, the console stayed the same. The accessories went up a little bit, and
Yeah.
more niche stuff for super hardcore people, like Amiibo, went up a lot. And you can see I have a lot of Amiibo behind me, so that hurt my wallet personally. But I think it was the right choice, though. And I think Nintendo's going to do everything they can, like you guys are saying, to keep Switch 2 the same. There was a quote from Furukawa a few months ago saying, like, their priority is to get the Switch 2 in people's hands this year. They want to kind of rocket start that install base with like 15 million in the first year or something like that. So yeah, I don't expect a price increase at the very least through the end of this year.
You are doing a lot of really nice segues for me, because we can jump right into the Switch selling 5 million here, which apparently it didn't.
Or did it?
I was fooled.
yeah.
I was fooled by that.
A lot of people were, actually. I saw a lot of people tweeting about it yesterday, which it's fair, because it got like leaked.
From Nintendo themselves.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair to get fooled by it until they corrected the record. I didn't mean to immediately jump to this. I was going to finish that conversation, but I think we did it, right? What do you think,
I'm
Logan?
good.
Did we do it?
Yeah, we did it.
We
Nice
did it.
job, everyone.
Hell yeah.
And I quote, as Logan from IGN said, buy a Switch 2 now,
I don't
because the
think
price is about to go up. That is IGN's statement. No. I
You
take
gotta
it
be
back.
careful. You gotta be careful.
I know. I take it back. IGN is very the corporation, the entity, the publication of IGN, whatever you want to say, it's very nice to allow Logan to come on the show and talk with me live, actually, with no edits. So I appreciate that, IGN. I just
practiced for 3 weeks. I'm just kidding. I did
to
not.
be live.
I didn't practice.
Because when we did the Mario Brothers thing, we weren't live. We pre-recorded it, and I asked you a ton of questions that I wanted answers to that you were like, well, I don't know if I should even say this. I cut out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you did. It's like, it was funny because it was the opposite experience for me, because I interview like folks from Nintendo sometimes and I ask them stuff and they're like, we're not going to answer that. And then I got to be on that side of it when I talked to you.
Yeah. I was gonna say more and I just won't say more. But yeah, I cut out a lot of stuff. Which was never intended to be in the video. I just wanted to know things. All right. So let's cut to this. Nintendo Switch 2 appears to have sold 5 million units in its first month. This is... We can just cut to the chase here, really. But I guess Nintendo leaked that they did 5 million Switch 2 console sales, which it's not true. They came out and said that it was a placeholder number that accidentally leaked, but it's not the actual number. They didn't tell us what the actual number is because I don't think they have any intention on currently telling us the actual number. All we know is what they told us a few weeks ago, which was they sold 3.5 million.
Yeah, in 4 days.
So...
Or 3 days, whatever it was.
That's the whole story, really. But where I guess, unless, Logan, you have anything on that, where I guess I would like to go with it is just how much do we think they've actually sold? Because if they've sold 3.4 or 5 in the first week, you would think the trajectory of that is higher than 5 million right now. But conversely, they might not have that many to sell. They just might have just ran out of Switches. I know here in America, it's pretty hard to get one right now.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be around 5 million whenever we do hear from them next. I don't know if these numbers are exactly real because they came back and said that they weren't, but who knows? They could be lying to us. But I think it'll be around here because, yeah, that 3.5 in the first 4 days or whatever, that's from multiple waves of pre-orders and a ton of stock at launch that all sold out in those first 4 days. So I don't think the trajectory would be higher. I think 5 million sounds about right.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, to me, I'm like 3.5 million a week, and then that leaves 1.5 million for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. But you're all right. There is a initial huge surge of people picking up their pre-orders. Yeah, it's very. I'd love to know. 5 million does feel around. I wouldn't say it'd be any higher than 6 even. Like 6 would be crazy.
That's a lot.
So yeah, it probably is around 5 to be honest. I'm really curious to see where this. Do you want to do a crazy prediction, Logan, on where it ends up? Because they'll probably tell us after this year, either late this year or this year, how much they sold in their first year. I don't know what you call it, not physical year, but like in 2025 is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like up through the holiday season. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna put. I'm gonna say 10 million. Is that crazy? After holiday season to say 10 million? If they can get stocks back out on the shelf and they push for holidays, because you think about Pokemon too. Like Pokemon's a system seller. Yeah. And then Metroid's going to drop. Well, that's not really like a system seller, but it's definitely something that's going to make people be interested. And then we have a new Zelda game, which will do it like 1 million, 2 million. I think Pokemon is... You keep forgetting. Everyone keeps forgetting. Age of Imprisonment is this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that's like the Dynasty Warrior kind of game.
Yeah, I know, but it's still Zelda.
Yeah. It's kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. I think Pokemon is the thing that's going to push it to 10 million this year. What do you think, Logan?
I think it beats that. I'll say 12. Ooh. Yeah, we'll do 12 million just through its first holiday. It's stock permitting. They sell everyone they're making right now. I think that's going to continue through Christmas. So I think, actually, no, I'll bump it up. I'll say 13. I'll say it beats the Wii U.
I was about to say
January
that's
1st.
Almost Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It beats the Wii U.
The Wii U in its entirety.
I can't stick at 10 million. I feel like I have to up the ante now. What do you think, Bingle? Place a number. Place your bets. See, now it's like, do you hedge and do you vote against Nintendo and give a lower number? Or do you go higher than maybe a reality just so that you can actually one-up the 2 Nintendo people in the room?
I say 12 million. No,
12? That's good.
Yeah, 12.
12 is good. You got to take it, Logan's original?
Yeah, 12.5 million.
I don't like where I'm at 10 anymore.
No.
Well, if you say 14, you'll just sandwich me in at 13. And yeah, one of you guys will win.
Also, you got to remember too, like
I don't want to sandwich you in. It's not fair. I'll stick at 10. That was my first guess. I think I was playing it safe. I was scared. You saying 12 made me realize I was playing it too safe. I think you're saying 13. I think you're right. I'm going to say, here's what I'm going to do, because I'll win either way. I'm saying 10, and I'm putting money on Logan.
what?
Yeah,
No!
that way I win either way. Either way, I'm saying Bingo's going to lose.
No, this is crap. This is crap.
I like it. No, that's
Yeah.
good. Do that.
Hedging my bets. What time are we at? How much time you got?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right, let's see what we can do in 10 minutes. And then we'll say goodbye to you, and we'll go a little bit longer. We'll wind it out a little bit, because I had some more things on here. All right, then I'll let you decide, Logan. For the last 10 minutes, do you want to talk about Super Mario Strikers coming to the thingy? Switch 2's overheating, apparently, is a thing I threw in the doc. Donkey Kong talk. I mean, it was apparently made by Team
let's talk
Odyssey.
DK.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's talk DK.
Let's do that for 10 minutes then. So essentially, I wanted to talk about, like, are we actually excited for this thing? But it has now been confirmed, everybody's suspicions, a lot of people already kind of guessed this one, that Donkey Kong Bonanza was developed by the Super Mario Odyssey team, which is, in my opinion, pretty huge, even though whether or not it was, as long as Nintendo were at the... I mean, I've played it, and I think it's awesome. But that's definitely great for optics as far as people that might have been on the fence about this one, because Mario Odyssey is probably the best 3D platformer of all time.
It's really good.
Well,
Oh,
what did you
yeah.
rate that one, Logan? Do you remember? Did you rate it? Were you even there at the time?
I didn't formally review that one, but I would give it a 10 if I did.
Hell yeah.
That's a 10-10
A
game.
masterpiece.
Yeah, Odyssey was.
Yeah, I love
phenomenal.
What would you? What did you Tears of the Kingdom?
No, but that's a 10 also.
Oh God, best friends. I'm telling you. Breath of the Wild 10 as
I
well.
love, those are like my two. At the time, probably, like when it came out and was
Yeah.
new, I probably would have given it a 10. But as the years have gone by, I have some significant issues with that game. I still think it's great, but I like Tears of the Kingdom way more than Breath of the
Well,
Wild.
great is an 8.
It is great. Yeah, that is an 8. So, yeah, that's probably what I'd give it. In like now, like 8 years later, but on
No,
day one, that was. A 10
I agree with
game.
all that. People ask me all the
Yeah.
time. They're like, "Do you prefer Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom?" And people will say Breath of the Wild because they're like, "Oh, it's the first one," and Tears of the Kingdom was essentially just DLC. But like going back and playing Breath of the Wild after playing Tears of the Kingdom is challenging, to say the least.
I don't.
Anyway, Donkey Kong. So, yeah, I mean, that's really it. I just want to talk about how excited we are. Logan, has the information that this was developed by the Odyssey team heightened, changed, affected your excitement for this game at all?
I don't want to brag, but I think I've known the whole time, not in an official capacity, but the day this game was announced on April 2nd, when I was at the Switch 2 premiere event in New York, I was at the hands-on event, I played it, and I'm like, that's an Odyssey sequel. And then I interviewed Bill Trinan the next day, and I was like, hey, is the Odyssey team making this? And he's like, you'll have to wait to find out. But
Yeah.
I have felt in my bones this has been an Odyssey team game the whole time. I am unbelievably excited for this game. Like, I think it is going to be the best game that comes out on Switch 2 this year from what we've seen so far. We just had a new preview go up on IGN earlier this week, and the previewer loved it. He loved it so much. I love what I've played of it so far at the preview event that I went to and at the Best Buy kiosk demo, which you can go play right now. But no,
man, I haven't
this is,
played.
I love DK. I love Mario Odyssey. Like, this, I think, is going to be really good.
That would actually be a pretty good YouTube video if I went and found one of those kiosks and did like a first impressions at the kiosk.
Actually, it's not a bad idea.
I agree with you. I also went to the Nintendo Experience event. I was not invited, but I went. And I got to play 20 minutes of Donkey Kong. And there's a certain feeling when you start playing it and the way that it controls and the way that Donkey Kong feels to move around. It feels like Odyssey. Like, it feels like a sequel. It really does. It feels like a brand new Odyssey game that you've unlocked the playable character of Donkey Kong, and he controls differently to Mario, and it's had a huge resolution and frame rate boost, although there was a lot of lag.
I'm curious because since the Odyssey team was working on, Bonanza, does that mean the 3D Mario game is going to be a bit further
That is
down?
an interesting conversation. What do you think of that, Logan? Because I can't imagine they were doing Odyssey 2 or a new Mario at the same time as Bonanza.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting because Nintendo's being very coy as usual about the actual names that are attached to Bonanza. We don't know any names. We just know that all they said at this event was it's being developed by the same team that developed Super Mario Odyssey. I think an outlet, VGC, pushed harder and got them to confirm it is in Tokyo, and that is where the Nintendo Mario team is Nintendo Tokyo. That's the only studio they have in Tokyo. The rest is in Kyoto. But they also made like Captain Toad at the same time they were making like 3D World, and they made Bowser's Fury, which is the smaller thing. So I think it's very likely that there's two separate teams at this studio. One is cooking on a 3D Mario while one was making this. I don't think it means a 3D Mario is coming this year. I think that would be silly to expect two giant 3D platformers
I agree
in the
with
same
you.
year.
I agree.
But I think they're multiple
1,000,000%.
years into production on something.
You get it, man. But do you want to do a podcast together?
We're doing that right now. I
Yeah,
wish,
I know.
but no, we got to keep this rivalry going.
Yeah, I know. We need the rivalry. By the way, I'm only going to say this because I'm petty and because you are always going to be above me for the history of mankind. We were 2 and 3 the other day, and I was 2 and you were 3 on the charts.
You want me to be petty back?
Yeah,
You want me to be petty back
Put
too?
me in my place, please.
Was that like the day yours published and like the day before we published? So ours was 6 days old.
It could have been that, or it could have been the fact that I did some leaking of certain things and it got a bunch of article traction that I usually don't get. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I had an
Were you
advantage.
the one that were you talking about some July Direct you think is happening? Was that what that was?
So in this on this Odyssey, let's talk about the Odyssey thing.
Sure.
July 17th release date. Are we excited? What's everybody's excitement like? This is what I was gonna say. I do want to ask that. I know you have to go, but I want everyone to be very aware of what's happening right here. If this is developed by Odyssey team and it's as good as Odyssey was, and in general it's as good as the game as we think it's going to be, think of the Switch 1 library and the best like 5 games. You would always put Odyssey in there. A lot of people might even put it in the first spot, if not top 2 or top 3. Like, it really floats around there.
Depends on the type of gamer you are, too.
That also came out in the first year of Switch 1. This is coming out right now. I think what we're looking at right here is going to be, like, one of the best, if not the best game that this console will ever get. There's a good chance of that moving forward.
I don't want to believe that, King.
Well, in the best way. I'm not saying it's going to peak early, and I'm sure we're going to have a ton of other experiences, but top 5, like, we're getting one of the best ones off the rip, I feel.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what's everyone's
Yeah, I think so,
excitement?
too.
I agree. Thank you, Sam. I agree with you, agreeing with me. So what's everybody's excitement level? Logan, give me a out of an IGN scale of 1 to 10. What's your excitement level for Donkey Kong Bonanza?
Well, I won't attach that to it, but I will say personally, I'm a 10 out of 10 excited for this game. I think it's going to be unreal. Like, yeah, we're so overdue for a Donkey Kong game, like, and a 3D one specifically. There's only been one ever, and it's been 10 years since the last like real DK game with Tropical Freeze. So like, it's so time for this, and I think it's going to be really good.
I'm thinking about Donkey Kong 64. My God.
Yeah, yikes.
Bingle, I'm guessing you're a 10. You love monkeys.
I'm a 10.
Yeah.
I'm a 10.
I'm definitely a 10 as well. And I think I may have hedged my bets on my excitement if it wasn't for the fact that I've literally played it. And that 20 minutes that I played left me wanting so much more. It was an incredibly fun 20 minutes. The thing I did note while playing it is that all I did in that 20 minutes was smash like the A button. Like the whole time I'm just smashing one button. I think that's the whole game, but it's still super satisfying. All right, Logan, I would talk to you all day, but you had a hard out, and I don't want to keep you. So how are you doing?
Yeah, I think I gotta run, but thanks so much for the invite, and yeah, I'd love to come back again.
Thank you so much. IGN's Logan Plant that you can find on Twitter at Logan J Plant, as is on the screen right now. Usually I would leave it on you, but it's auto cutting and I can't do anything about that. And yeah, you can find him, obviously, his IGN reviews. He does a lot of Nintendo coverage, but most of all, I guess, if you enjoyed this podcast episode and you loved listening to his sultry voice and seeing his very handsome face every time the auto switcher decided to cut to him and not linger on me, you can actually go and watch him do his own podcast, which is the Nintendo Voice Chat podcast, which is, I'm pretty sure, the largest Nintendo podcast in the gaming space and online. So you really are missing out if you're not listening to it. You're missing out on Logan if you're not listening to it.
Thanks so much, man. Yeah, you can find us. We're every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific. On YouTube, the channel is IGN Games, and we also publish on any audio service that you like to listen to. So, yeah, come check us out.
There you go. And if you are going to listen to it, listen to mine first. Just equal out the views there for me on the podcast charts. All right, Logan, thank you so much for hanging out. That was a lot of fun. We'll talk to you soon.
Anytime. See you next time.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it's definitely gonna. Yeah, okay, cool. It shouldn't throw to it now because there's no sound coming through there anymore.
That's true.
Okay. Go ahead actually, and hopefully not mess everything up. But you can yank out the HDMI. Yeah, because then there's no way that it will cut to it because the audio is coming through HDMI.
I think we're good.
All right, guys, off the rip, I want to say thank you so much to Logan again. He really is so charming, and we get along so well. He's like a more professional me.
He's very well informed, very professional,
very well spoken, very smart, and he's honestly the me if I had gone to school and like learned how to be good at my job. I'd probably also be working for IGN. Actually, I've never told this story, but I was offered to work at IGN once.
Wait, really?
Yeah, very, very long time ago. When I first moved to... I can't believe I've never told this. It's a nothing story. When I first moved to North America, I was living in Canada after about 9 months, and IGN legitimately emailed me and approached me. I was doing some like I don't know what I was doing on YouTube at the time, and they wanted to know if I wanted to intern and I don't know, like write some stuff or do research or something at IGN, which would obviously have had led to a career at IGN. I think a similar thing might have happened to... Is Alana Pierce IGN? Or was she ever IGN?
I have no idea. I'm not familiar.
I don't want to speak out of turn. Yeah, anyway, that's what happened to me. And I was doing my own YouTube at the time, and it was like kind of taking off at the time. And I was trying to decide, like, do I want to go and work for a publisher and, like, you know, have a boss and everything and do kind of what I'm doing now with a boss? Or do I want to keep kind of piddling around doing what I'm doing now? And more than anything, I was just kind of nervous. I was like,
the uncertainty kills you.
Yeah. I was more like, I don't know if I'm good enough for that, because I wasn't really well written. I wasn't really doing like in detail reviews at the time. And yeah, I was just kind of scared. I was like, I don't know. And I just kind of like sat on the email and never replied. But that was almost me.
You would have been an IGN reviewer.
I might be.
You would have had that podcast.
I might have been on the podcast. That could have been my podcast. I'm very happy with the way that I turned out, and I'm happy that Logan's better for that job. Believe me, he does a great job. The other thing I was gonna say is the auto switch was pretty good.
It was doing a decent job.
There was a couple of times for some reason it was just sat on me while Logan was talking, which bothered me a little and distracted me. And I wish I had a button to force it to go back to Logan. But I think it did really well.
I didn't know if you wanted me to do it. I would have just... And then I would have held this to put it back.
I think now that you've seen it in action and you know how to do that, then maybe next time that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty comfortable doing it.
Yeah, that might be good. But yeah, I think honestly, guys, that whole podcast was auto switched.
It was auto switched.
Everything was auto switched.
No one pressed any buttons.
I didn't press a single button. The only button I press is I can cut to screen share here, which I need control of. And I actually like that I have control over it, because now I'm not saying like, hey Max, can you switch this cutaway?
Yeah.
But now I can just blah 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 blah. And it auto switches when we're on this here too. Mm-hmm. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
All right, let me bring up chat. You could have been famous. I was so close to becoming famous. Damn. I really was. What is an IGN agent? I would work at IGN. If this all went kaput, I mean, why not? I'd work at IGN. I feel like that's honestly the career path I would take anyway, is like editing. If I wasn't doing my own stuff. All right, guys. I hope you, How Dare You Leak DK Bonanza previews are out. I don't know if we did do that. All right, I got to get back on the track here. We had such a great episode. I don't want to get derailed too much. I do want to get out of here relatively soon because you want to get home. But there is a couple of things that I think... we got to do a bonus episode too.
Yeah.
Well, Bingle, let me see. Do you want to talk about the Perfect Dark getting canceled.
Yeah, actually, I'm
I
actually
kinda
really
do as
livid
well.
about the Xbox. The whole I can't stand Microsoft. I call him Microsoft.
Microsoft?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that. The other things we can do in the bonus episode. So in the bonus episode for Patreons only, we're going to talk about Twink Link.
Hell yeah.
Apparently a Banjo-Kazooie game was in development and got scrapped. And Switch 2s are overheating. Actually, there is one thing I wanted to show on the main episode real quickly. I don't know if we're going to get audio for
At
this.
20th is the only Arcane episode to make the list. The base.
Okay, so here we have the top 20 highest rated episodes on IMDb. I think like
Oh, didn't you send me this?
I did, yeah.
You did.
But I wanted
Okay.
to show everybody. And they'll know why pretty soon. I think this is all time. I think this is just all time. So last week with Celia, we had a conversation about what is the greatest anime of all time. And I boldly staked my flag, my Attack on Titan flag. I don't know what they call their emblem. That has a name. My Attack on Titan flag into the ground. And I said Attack on Titan is the best anime of all time. And then side note, I was just on TikTok and I saw this pop up. Top 20 highest rated episodes of all time.
Base violence for necessary change, which is season 1.
For anything ever.
Yeah, just
TV
all,
shows,
it's not just anime.
animes,
It's all of it.
Just
It's-
episodes.
Yeah.
Episode 3, kind of surprising. And number 19 is Succession's episode All the Bells Say, the season 3 finale. And number 18 is Savagery from Attack on Titan
So number 18 is an Attack on Titan episode.
season 4. Very accurate title for the things that are said in this episode. And again at number 17
Number 17 is an Attack on Titan episode.
with Assault. And number 16 is Severance's season 1 finale. And surprisingly, season 2's finale is only a 9.5, missed the list entirely. And number 15 we have Better Call Saul.
I need to watch Better Call
last
Saul.
appearance on
Me
this
too.
list with
I've
A
never
Rock
seen
in a
it.
Hard Place. Number 14 and 13 are 2 Clone Wars episodes from the final.
This made me actually start watching Clone Wars for the first time.
You never saw Clone Wars?
No. I was like, oh, if it's that good, I should watch it. I like Attack on Titan. Apparently, this is good too. And the first season is rough. Like animation, I don't know what's happening with the story. It's all like childish and kiddie. And so I started Googling it to make sure I was watching the right thing. And everyone's like, first season's rough. So I got to get through that.
Arc Shattered and The Phantom Apprentice, both with 9.8 ratings. And number 12, AOT's back in the list with From You 2000
Number 12 is Attack on Titan.
Of course.
years ago. Number 11 with
Number 11 is Attack on Titan.
Oh, they're all good. There's so many.
Memories of the Future, which probably contains one of the
There's only, by the way, 100 episodes of Attack on Titan. It's like the equivalent, I guess, of 5 seasons of a TV show.
How many were on this list? How many episodes?
Oh, what?
How many episodes are on this list?
Of
the
Attack
top
on Titan? I don't know. 4 so far.
Okay.
We're only at 11. But there's only 100 episodes of Attack on Titan. So, like, TV shows usually have, like, 20 episodes a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 5 seasons. It's not crazy. I'm not saying it's like One Piece where there's 1,000 episodes. So, like, yeah, eventually there's a lot they're going to get. No, there's only 100.
craziest TV show plot twists of all time. And at number 10, it's here again.
Number 10 is Attack on Titan.
That's 5.
This isn't this guy's opinion, by the way.
This is IMDb.
This is IMDb's rating from 90,000. This is for 90,000 critic ratings. This has a 9.8 on IMDb. 90,000 people agreed with this, or
Damn.
The Warhammer
created
Titan.
this.
And at number 9 with Declaration of
Number 9 is Attack on Titan.
Wait, that's 6? 6 of them so far.
Yeah.
6 episodes.
6 of the top 20.
Okay.
War. Number 8 is The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, The Rescue. And honestly, can we just erase Season 3 and pretend this was the ending of the show?
I agree with you. I didn't
Yeah.
like season 3
Yeah.
at all.
Number 7 is
I
Better
really have to watch Better Call Saul.
Call Saul Point and Shoot. 6, Better Call Saul going back to back here with Saul.
That's crazy. I really have to watch this show.
On. Number 5 is the very last episode of the Clone Wars with Victory and Death. The season 1 finale of Invincible just missed the top 20, but the season 3 finale is actually in the top 4. Before the top 3, if you love movies and TV, hit that follow button, help me get to
Make sure to
500K.
check this guy out.
Number 3 is Succession's second appearance.
I don't
on the
know if
list
there's
with
any more
Connor's
Attack on
Wedding.
Titan or
Number
not.
2, Better Call Saul again
might
with
have been
Plan
it.
and Execution. And surprisingly,
Yeah, that's it. But six of the top 20 were Attack on Titan.
So if that's six episodes out of what, 100?
Yeah.
100 episodes?
Yeah.
What's the percent of that?
6%.
6%.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty easy
So
math.
6% of the whole show is in the top 20.
Yeah. And that's not discredit like all the other episodes that probably are like 9 stars or higher. That,
I love Attack on
that are
Titan.
probably in the top 50 if you looked at them. There's probably a bunch more in the top 50. Attack on Titan is insane. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. If you haven't seen Attack on Titan, it might be the best thing you've ever watched. Like, realistically, unless you've seen Better Call Saul or Succession or whatever other shows are in here, there is a better than not chance if you watch Attack on Titan tomorrow, it'll be the best thing you've ever seen. Even like, just statistically, not even opinion based. I am recommending to you the best thing you might ever see.
You ever see those memes?
Other than Better Call Saul and one episode of BoJack Horseman.
There's like the memes of when like somebody puts on Attack on Titan in their like home with their dad, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" And then like 3 episodes later, they're just glued to the freaking TV.
Dude, there's so many memes. There's one of I think I've told this before on the podcast, but someone in a doctor's office getting bad news, and the doctor's like, "I'm so sorry, you've lost all of your memory." And the guy's face is like,
"Oh, Attack on Titan."
And then it cuts, and he's watching.
But I wish I can go in for a fresh start with that show.
It's honestly like Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild. Like, what I would do to wipe and do it again. Although I feel like you enjoy it more the second time.
Well, you get more of the nuance.
So the second time you watch Attack on Titan is insane.
Yeah, because you connect all the pieces.
100 episodes, guys, and they knew how it was going to end in episode 1.
Yeah.
And there are flashbacks to episode 1 later in the show that warp your whole vision of everything you thought you knew.
Also, when you're watching it and you get those flashbacks, you get the chills. You're like...
And then when you go back and you watch the first episode raw, you're like, that's what... And then, oh my God.
Yep.
I will say, for some reason, the first time I ever watched it, it was really hard to get through the first 5 episodes.
Gory? Too gory?
No, just boring.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. The first 5 episodes, they're once you get the full scope and they tie it all back in and you go back and rewatch, it's addicting to see how they were setting it all up.
Well, yeah, they had to set up a story.
The very first time I watched it, I was like, where is this going? What's the hook? You don't really find out the hook until like episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry about that. Let's just do this, and then we'll do the bonus episode.
Okay.
Xbox canceled the reboot of Perfect Dark and is shutting down the initiative. Rare's Everwild has also been canceled. I think it's insane that that's even like a little tagline, that the Everwilds, because that's been going for years.
Yep.
Everwild.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what Everwild was at this point.
I'll pull it up, but I'm livid.
I honestly have so many thoughts on this that could be a time to bring back React 'em Ups, because I've been ranting on that channel for a while about Xbox and their terrible business decisions. Xbox, I don't even know where to begin. It's so disappointing.
Xbox has been canceling first-party games and just shutting down studios for the last, 6-7 years, even more than that.
God, I don't know where to begin.
And this was supposed to be from 2020. They talked about Everwild.
Yeah, I know.
And they just dropped it.
Xbox has been so disappointing. Like 360 was a great era. Then you went into Xbox One and they tried forcing the Kinect and everything, and there wasn't a ton of games on the console. Then going into Series X, was it One X next? Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X?
It's Series X.
But
the One X was supposed to is like the Pro.
It is?
Yeah.
See, now I'm even forgetting it.
Yeah, it was One S and then One X.
Okay, so going into the Xbox One generation, the game started really lacking.
Yep.
And where they tried to win us back as Xbox fans going into the new generation was they were like, we're bringing back like game development and our studios, and we're going to be purchasing these. I still remember, we're buying out these 13 game studios was a big thing they did at some press conference. And they bought these 13 studios out that were supposed to be making games exclusively for them. Then a year or so after that, they bought out Bethesda. Mm-hmm. So they were buying out all of these companies to start putting out all of these games. And they're like, we've got Rare making Everwild. We've got a Perfect Dark in the works. We've got Fable coming. We've got all of these games coming. And then...
Nope.
That's it.
And also, Fable Fable got canceled before.
I think Fable is still happening.
No, I know that, but
yeah, it did get canceled.
We were supposed to
before.
get a Fable Legends on Xbox One.
I know. Those game studios really amounted to nothing. I mean, Arcane made a couple games and they were pretty average. Other than that, I can't even list you. I mean, we got the people kind of liked that Indiana Jones game. I can't remember who did Bethesda make that. Indiana Jones? I can't even remember.
I don't even remember.
It was a real flash in the pan. But the point is, we barely got anything out of all those acquisitions. And now they're shutting down the studios that they bought and shutting down like Perfect Dark and Everwild.
Wait, didn't they show off Perfect Dark? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
I don't even know. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Because like I remember seeing that commercial and I remember going to Bob. I'm like, oh, this looks sick because I love Perfect Dark.
Xbox, and I ranted about this on React Mops, like I said, but they said, I think Phil Spencer said, he doesn't believe exclusive games bring people to a console. Like, they have lost that mentality completely. They literally have said, exclusive games don't sell a console, is what they said.
King, last year they showed it. Perfect Dark.
So stupid.
Last year, and then they closed it down.
So dumb. So they don't believe in making games for their platform.
No.
They seem to be giving up on hardware. There's someone that helped start Xbox back in the day. I'm going to misquote them horribly, and I apologize. I saw an article a day or two ago. They came out and publicly said that they're disappointed with the trajectory that Xbox has taken in the hardware space, and that clearly efforts like with the ROG Ally, reskin Xbox, I don't know why people are so excited for that. It's quite literally a ROG Ally with an Xbox skin.
I'm good.
You know what would be good? If Xbox actually made a handheld.
Yeah.
Like an actual handheld from Xbox, but they're just not interested in making hardware because they know it's not going to sell.
Aren't they making a new hardware, like a new console?
Oh God.
I mean, that could be
Weren't
a
they
rumor, I don't
making
know.
Perfect Dark? Weren't they making Everwild? Like,
Yeah, you're right.
what do they make? All they do is release controller skins. They release like Midnight Blue Xbox controller, Lava Gold Xbox. All they do is release Xbox controllers. I feel like. And then they raise the prices on everything, Bingle. I'm yelling at you and it's cutting to you, Bingle.
Oh my God! No, they raised all the prices, and you know what? They even try they act like they can justify the price hike on their games. I feel like there is no justification on anything that Xbox does nowadays.
It doesn't make any sense. It's bizarre to me that they don't believe in creating exclusive games for a console. Anytime they make anything that's even close to an exclusive, obviously it cross-releases on PC, but then it goes to PlayStation a few months later, if not day one. So they're getting rid of all of their games. There's literally no reason to buy an Xbox. Their whole marketing brand right now is everything is an Xbox. You've seen that?
Yep.
Your phone's an Xbox. Your tablet's an Xbox.
I bring it with me everywhere.
So why even buy an Xbox?
Don't.
I say this, by the way, as a huge Xbox advocate, as somebody who for the longest time didn't even want to start buying PlayStation. I would have a PlayStation, but I would buy only exclusives. And I would buy all my third parties on an Xbox.
I see a wall of 360 games.
There's a whole wall right there you can't see. It's off camera. I would buy those there because I liked achievements.
Yeah.
And I was in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
It just got to a point where I was like, all right, Xbox just ain't it anymore. I'm going to have to start just buying it on PlayStation instead when it comes to the non-Nintendo
Well, if Xbox
experiences.
wasn't Microsoft, it would have been like Dreamcast. It would have been gone.
Xbox, I think one of Xbox's issues is Microsoft has so much money to throw at things, it doesn't matter if they lose any. So there's no like pressure on them to be good because they can mess up 100 times and still be at one of America's and the world's most richest companies.
So from the years that I've known Microsoft, right? From the years I've seen on how they do things, they're extremely anti-consumer on everything. And they're pretending, and in my head, I can, you can correct me, but I feel like Game Pass is going to be one of the worst things that ever happened to games if they really, really start to get their hands on more studios. Because I honestly, we had Rare, right? They bought out Rare.
Yeah.
What games did we get?
None.
No, we got Sea of
Thieves. People in chat are saying like, calm down, Xbox Shield, and then listing like the games Xbox are giving. Hey, trust me, if you're in the chat, you're an Xbox fan, and you're happy that they just shut down Perfect Dark and Everwilds, you're 100% allowed to have that opinion. But we are upset by it because we like Xbox and we like Rare and we like video games.
It's just I just think it's a bad thing for the industry overall. Like
100%.
It is terrible. Like I also like to give a lot of shit to Nintendo.
Yeah, by the way, if you're defending this in chat and I see Norbij is defending it, I don't even understand how. I hope you've never said one bad thing about Nintendo's practices, because that's insane.
Here, I'm gonna circle back to. I like to give shit to Nintendo a lot, but I don't see Nintendo shutting down. I don't know how many studios did Nintendo buy and shut down.
I don't know.
I don't even think they did.
Think they've done that.
And they don't do mass layoffs of 1,000+ people. Instead, they'll have the CEO way back when take a freaking pay cut.
Yeah. No, I agree. The CEOs have taken to shield Nintendo. Their CEOs have taken pay cuts before to pay their employees. Someone in chat, SJ Man says, hot take, firing employees like this is bad. I agree. Apparently some people in chat don't. I agree. So someone said barely any games. We had Indiana, which I already said came to PlayStation 5 almost immediately. Right. Avowed, which it's okay. It's okay. Okay.
It's a 7 out of 10.
Outer World, which I believe came out like 10 years ago. But
Outer Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty old.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a sequel coming, which is exciting. It's probably
you can play that on PC.
You can. It's probably the best looking game I've seen from Xbox in a while. It's also $80.
Why?
Yeah, I heard it's $80, which is fine. It's a game. And then the medieval game, which, that
Kingdom Come Deliverance?
That definitely did happen. That was everywhere.
Oh, what medieval game?
I'm pretty sure. Maybe that is what they meant, but I think they meant that with the guy with the skull, the cartoon character skull guy, medieval. There was like a remake of an old PlayStation game.
Oh, are you talking about Oblivion?
No.
No, I don't know.
The game is called Medieval, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And they also said Doom, which obviously is not.
It's out for everything on day one.
For everything, yeah. They might have been missing the point in what I was trying to say.
Look, I grew up with Xbox, though. Like, that was like my online days before, like, after Counter-Strike. I was playing Halo 2 on the original Xbox with the Duke, and then 360, and then seeing this now with all the nonsense that they do. I don't know. This is one, it ain't the same company anymore. Two,
oh, Medieval was PlayStation, so I don't know what they meant.
I don't know. I was confused.
That person also said Perfect Dark was not a game. They mismanaged 7 years and they only had a beta. Yeah, that's how game development works sometimes. Also, with Xbox, that's definitely how it works because everything is mismanaged, including Halo was extremely, to this day, mismanaged. Yeah, Post-released is mismanaged.
Halo, do you know how excited
we're not giving a hot take, by the way.
No,
this is how things are and how 90% of the gaming industry and consumers actually see the situation. Like we're not giving some crazy off-pace take.
Dude, they released Halo Infinite and it was poised to be one of the best like games, and then they dropped the ball by literally adding 4 freaking playlists and only adding it way later down the line when all the hype died off. Please, I don't even want to go into Halo.
No, I agree. Also, Outer Worlds is looking good, but it is Obsidian, and Avowed was pretty average. So let's wait and see what it looks like when it comes out.
Outer Worlds, the original Outer Worlds you're talking about, and then there's Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does look good.
I think the first one.
Outer Worlds might actually be a good one from Xbox.
The first one, it was good.
But let's wait and see, right? Let's wait and see if Fable even comes out. Because if you want to talk about mismanaged, how long's that been in development for?
Where's Legends?
Where's anything Fable?
The last Fable game we got was what, Fable 3?
The only reason I have any faith in Fable is that it's being developed by Playground.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean anything under Xbox's brand right now, because even 343 Studios couldn't even get out a Halo under Xbox's brand with all of the money and resources in the world. So I really don't know what's happening at Xbox in general.
I think maybe the direction is just all over the place, and also if you're constantly cycling through teams, no one can get used to an engine.
That was Halo's problem.
It was exactly Halo's problem. If you're going to go through hundreds and hundreds of developers and they're all getting used to a whole engine, you have to literally train them from the ground up to learn this new engine.
Someone said State of Decay 3, where is it? I don't even know when that was supposed to come out. But
dude, I don't know.
People are mentioning Grounded 2. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know, yeah. Grounded 2 is a thing.
I can't imagine Grounded 1 did very well.
I think it did decent. I know a good chunk of people on my friends list, but it was never really something I went into.
I tried playing it when it was in beta and I liked it, but no one wanted to play with me and the spiders scared me. I would play it if it came to Switch though, which it might.
I wonder what the arachnophobia mode looks like.
Fable's never coming at this point. Fable is one of my favorite game series of all time.
I loved Fable 2.
I loved all three of them.
Yeah, all three was great.
I played 3 before the internet, and I loved it. And I didn't know people were so upset by that game until later on in life.
I loved doing the landlord simulator.
Me too.
It was fun.
I liked it. I had no issue.
Kingdom.
I had no issue. I mean, I was probably like 18 when it came out. I don't even know, maybe younger. I don't even know. I do remember being annoyed by the ending, but feeling like it was my fault, even though looking back it wasn't. The ending does this crazy time skip out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And it just like the game just ends before you're ready. And yeah, I just remember being really annoyed. I was like, wait, what? But I played through a second time when I prepared for it. There's like a day count. Like you only have so many days left near the end.
Yeah.
And then it just ends. But it also is like, it'll say you have 100 days, 99 days, 98 days, 70 days.
Was it in the pause menu?
No, it just happens. And then it's like, oh, wait, I have 70 days? I thought I had...
You had like...
and then it's like, you have 65 days. I'm like, wait, I just missed 5 days. You have 20 days. What? How many days do I have left? And then all of a sudden...
You have to get rich in the game, right? And like manage a kingdom.
I just remember... This is what I remember. I could be wrong. But I remember having something like 7 days left. And then the next day was the end of the game. And I was like, those days meant nothing. All right. Cool. I really like Xbox. It's so annoying. I know I'm a Nintendo guy, so maybe there's like a preconceived notion. But I always try and preface any conversation about Xbox or PlayStation with I love Xbox and I love PlayStation. I'm disappointed by Xbox. And even the execs that used to work at the company are disappointed by Xbox. You know,
they should be.
Like, it is so disappointing. You look at what we used to have with Xbox to what we have now. They've lost complete sight of what makes gaming on their consoles great. They don't value first-party exclusives. Most of the stuff they put out is average to bad. And they barely put anything out despite buying up loads of studios. And they're seemingly giving up on making their own hardware as well.
I think they're still salty about getting rid of Don Matrick.
I don't know what it is, but as a big Xbox fan, growing up and loving Xbox One and loving Xbox 360, not Xbox One, but Xbox One.
The original Xbox.
Yeah, and then even being I was dead day one with Xbox One. I played Rise. I played Dead Rising 3.
I did too. I kind of liked Dead Rising.
I kind of liked it too. I tried to convince myself that Rise wasn't bad.
I didn't play Rise.
It was like 2 hours long.
I remember watching my cousin. I'm like, oh, I'll skip this one.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I want better. Halo sucked. I want a better Halo.
Halo was terrible.
I think they're doing a great job with Gears of War because I really liked the last Gears of War. No one else really seemed to. It sold poorly.
You want my prediction?
But I loved Gears
Halo?
of War. What?
We're not gonna get a new original Halo. We're gonna get Halo 3 remastered or remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's what I think.
Well, Halo 1 remake because it's been 25 years or something.
No, they're going to do 3.
All right. We need to get out of here because you don't have much time. It's almost 8.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if you even have time for the bonus episode.
We have time. Let's just do the bonus.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Through this.
I'm going to do this.
We'll see you in the bonus.
You know what I didn't do, Bingle? You got to talk for me.
Hello. Hi. I'm trying to talk. No, because you're playing the song.
Where's yours? Go. Oh, there it is. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
What's happening?
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Talk.
Hey. Oh, hey, hello, I'm talking. I'm trying to talk. Let's go. Come on, switch to me.
Never mind.
I'm going.
Never mind.
God damn it.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Big thank you to Bingle for being here with me. Thank you so much.
I love being here, King.
Oh, I also, sorry, I was so caught up with Logan, I never said where Kim was. Did I? Or didn't I? Kim had no sleep last night. It was baby night last night. We both had no sleep. But then because I had to work today, once it hit 6 a.m., I just went and slept on my own until like 10. And then Kim's mom came over to look after the baby like she does so we can do the podcast. And I told Kim, I was like, honestly, girl, if you just have to sleep, just go take a nap. So she's sleeping right now. So sorry, I wanted to have Kim, but hopefully next week, Stinky Joe won't keep us up all night.
I have faith.
I have faith. All right, everybody. Love you. Hey, if you're watching this online or listening to this wherever it is, rate us 5 stars, like the video, leave a comment down below. Especially if it's audio and especially if it's iTunes or Apple, yeah, like the hell out of it because we got to beat Logan's podcast.
The rivalry continues.
The rivalry continues. But also check out Logan's podcast and everything that he does. Thank you so much again for coming on, buddy. Thank you, Bingle.
Thanks for having me.
Love you all. And I gotta do one quick ban in the chat.
Who am I banning?
I did it already. We love you, everybody. I'll see you. Goodbye.
Press the hit. What's that noise?